Hello everyone. Welcome to today's story. Morning sunlight spilled across the small village, glimmering on the damp soil that once lay beneath a flood. The air smelled of wet wood and new beginnings. Alex stood by the riverbank, his hands still scarred from rebuilding, yet his eyes, calm and steady, held a quiet gratitude. Beside him, Lytuna adjusted her straw hat, her voice soft as wind through bamboo leaves. "The land will heal," she whispered, half to him, half to herself. The world had nearly washed everything away, yet somehow they remained. Two souls bound by storms and silence. What they didn't know was that something new was already growing within her. A heartbeat, small and fragile, waiting to change everything. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The truth is just beginning to unfold. The flood had passed, but its traces clung to everything. The roads, the air, even the silence between words. Alex drove along the dirt path toward the grapefruit garden, the truck wheels sinking into mud. Each tree, once lush and golden, now bore scars of water and wind. He stopped the engine, stepped out, and simply looked. For a moment, he didn't move. Lytuna followed, her steps careful. "It's still beautiful," she said quietly, "even after the storm." Alex smiled faintly, though his heart ached. Maybe that's what makes it beautiful. They walked among the fallen fruits, the scent of citrus thick in the air. Every fruit that had dropped was a piece of labor lost, but Lytuna's hand brushing his sleeve grounded him. She didn't speak of losses, she only helped him pick the few that could still be saved. Later that evening, under the dim light of the wooden porch, Alex called John. "Can you still take the shipment?" John's voice crackled through the static. "Of course, my friend. Send me the location. I'll be there tomorrow." Relief filled the space between Alex's breaths. For the first time in weeks, the future didn't feel like an enemy. Lytuna brought him tea, the fragrance of ginger and honey wrapped around them like warmth. "You'll be fine," she said softly. "We both will." But just as calm returned, a call came from his mother. Her voice trembled, not with worry but joy. "Alex," she said, almost whispering, "is it true? Lytuna, she's expecting." He froze, tea still in his hands. Lytuna stood in the doorway, her eyes lowering, a faint smile trembling on her lips. The truth had escaped before they were ready to speak it. That night, he sat beside her, both silent. Rain began to fall again, gentle this time, like a song. "Are you scared?" he asked. Lytuna looked up, eyes glowing in the faint light. "Only if you are." He reached for her hand. "Then let's be brave together." Outside, thunder rolled far away, not a warning, but a memory. The air smelled of rain and new life. The village slept, unaware that beneath the small roof by the river, two hearts had begun writing a new chapter, one that neither storm nor doubt could erase. Morning came with a golden mist rising over the fields. The storm had passed, but the air still carried the scent of loss and renewal. Alex stood by the window, his hands resting on the wooden frame. He could hear Lytuna humming softly from the kitchen, the sound mingling with the crackle of firewood. For a fleeting moment, everything felt right, fragile, but real. Then came a knock at the door. It was his mother, wrapped in a faded shawl, eyes shining with the warmth of both love and years. She looked at Lytuna and then at Alex, her lips trembling before forming a smile. "Is it true?" she asked, her voice a mixture of disbelief and wonder. Tuna nodded shyly. Alex took her hand. His answer was silent, but complete. The old woman covered her mouth, tears welling up. After everything this land has taken, it gives back a child, my grandchild. She stepped forward, holding Tuna's hands tightly. This home has seen floods, debts, and darkness, but now it will hear laughter again. That night, they gathered under the flickering lanterns. The mother insisted on preparing a small dinner, simple yet filled with love. "You must have a wedding soon," she said, eyes glinting with mischief, "before that little one starts calling me Grandma too early." Tuna laughed, but Alex grew quiet. He looked out the window to the fields still half drowned under moonlight. A wedding, a promise. He wanted it, yet something inside him hesitated. "I just want to make sure," he said at last, "that we build something strong first, not just out of love, but out of peace." Tuna didn't argue. She only looked at him the way she always did, with understanding deeper than words. "You've already built it, Alex," she whispered. "Every day you wake up and keep trying." But peace never lasts too long before being tested. A few days later, a message arrived, from a woman's voice on the phone. The same voice Tuna had heard once, faint and cold. It was the other woman, the one who once loved Alex in silence, now consumed by envy. "She's not right for you, Alex," the message said. "She's after what you have. Even your mother will see it soon." Tuna found the message before Alex did. Her hands trembled as she read it, but she didn't cry. Instead, she went outside, into the field where the young onions had just begun to sprout. The soil was damp and soft under her fingers. She planted another row, whispering to herself, "Let the earth decide who's true." When Alex found her, her hands were covered in mud, her eyes clear. "She called again," he said quietly. "I know." He knelt beside her. "Do you still trust me?" Tuna looked up at him. "I've trusted you through storms. Why would I stop now?" For the first time, Alex couldn't speak. He simply pulled her close. Above them, the last clouds broke, and sunlight spilled across the field, warm, unwavering, and full of quiet truth. And at that moment, everything changed. Days passed quietly. The floodwaters withdrew, leaving behind fields marked by both loss and promise. Alex worked tirelessly, his hands rebuilding fences, his heart rebuilding faith. Every morning, Tuna brought him tea. Every night, they walked through the soft earth that once drowned their hopes. His mother often visited, carrying baskets of vegetables and warm advice. The wedding, she would remind with a smile. Don't let happiness wait too long. Alex always smiled back, but didn't answer. Somewhere deep inside, a whisper of doubt remained. Was this peace real, or just a calm before another storm? One evening, as the horizon turned amber, Tuna stood by the river, the reflection of her small belly shimmering on the surface. "I used to fear the rain," she said softly, "but now it feels like it's washing the world clean for him." Alex joined her, resting a hand over hers. "For him," she smiled, "for our child." Her words melted the weight he carried. For months, he had fought against loss. Now he realized he was allowed to embrace gain. He pulled her closer. The air smelled of life returning. But the next morning brought a test. A storm of a different kind. The envious woman had gone to Alex's mother, speaking with false sweetness, sowing seeds of suspicion. "Are you sure Tuna loves your son for who he is, not for what he owns?" His mother, shaken, asked Alex that night. She said, "She might not be who you think." Alex sighed, a long exhale of exhaustion. "Mother, when the flood came, everyone ran away, only she stayed." He looked at the doorway where Tuna stood silently, eyes glistening but calm. If love is tested by storms, then she's already passed every one. Silence followed, the kind that heals instead of hurts. His mother nodded slowly, tears softening her suspicion. "Then, she's already my daughter." The next day, sunlight returned as if blessing their decision. The family prepared a small wedding by the garden, where boy trees bore their first new blooms. No grand hall, no glitter, just the scent of citrus, the hum of bees, and the quiet murmur of joy. Tuna wore a simple white dress, handmade by the village seamstress. Alex stood waiting, his suit still smelling faintly of sawdust. When she walked toward him, every memory, the storm, the losses, the long nights, dissolved into one truth. This was love's rebirth. The ceremony was humble, but every heart present felt full. His mother wept openly, holding Tuna's hands. "You've given back more than this flood ever took." John sent a message from afar. "To enduring roots and gentle rains, may they always find each other." That night, after everyone had gone, Alex and Tuna sat by the garden, their wedding candles flickering in glass jars. The stars shimmered faintly above the recovering land. "You know," Tuna whispered, "I once dreamed of a grand wedding." "And now?" Alex asked. She leaned her head against his shoulder. "Now I know. Peace is grand enough." A breeze drifted through the trees. Somewhere nearby, Henry laughed in his sleep, a small sound that carried through the night like a blessing. For the first time in a long while, Alex felt whole, not because life had become easier, but because love had stayed. Steady, patient, and unafraid of silence. And when he looked at the woman beside him, her hand resting on the gentle curve of new life, he finally understood. This was what it meant to come home after every storm. Dawn came quietly, spilling soft gold across the garden. Dew glimmered on the leaves like tiny mirrors reflecting the sky. The storm season had ended, leaving the earth breathing again, slow, alive, forgiving. Alex stood by the wooden gate, watching Tuna water the young onions. She moved gently, her hands steady, her breath unhurried. The sound of her laughter mingled with bird song. For a man who once measured life in profits and losses, this simple morning had become the richest thing he'd ever known. His mother joined him, a shawl wrapped around her shoulders. "You've changed," she said softly. Alex smiled. "Maybe I've just remembered who I was before the storms." The older woman nodded, her eyes moist. "No, son, you became who you were meant to be because of them." Tuna straightened up, waving toward them. Her smile glowed in the sunlight, serene, grounded. She was no longer the woman who stood shyly by the river months ago. She was a mother now, a keeper of calm, carrying life within her and around her. Later that day, Alex walked alone to the flooded fields, now dry, reborn. The broken branches, the scars of the storm, still lay half buried in soil. He knelt, pressing his palm into the earth. "Thank you," he whispered, "for teaching me what to hold on to." Behind him, Tuna appeared, holding Henry's hand. The boy's laughter echoed through the air, chasing away the last traces of silence. Together, they planted a new sapling, a grapefruit tree, small but steady. Its roots sank into the soil that once drowned, promising fruit again someday. The wind carried the scent of rain mixed with sunlight. Lytuna looked at Alex, her eyes filled with quiet truth. "Love isn't about escaping storms," she said. "It's about learning to grow after them." Alex nodded, wrapping his arm around her shoulders. "Then we'll keep growing, all of us." As the camera pans away, fields stretch far and wide, sunlight gliding over rippling green. The couple standing hand in hand beside their new tree. The world feels still, yet full of movement, like a heartbeat under calm water. Maybe love doesn't end. It just changes shape, from the trembling of loss to the warmth of belonging. And somewhere in that light, between soil and sky, their story continues.
Sau cơn lũ cuốn trôi tất cả, Alex và Tử Na vẫn ở lại bên nhau, dựng lại từ bàn tay trần giữa những ruộng đồng bụi đổ nát. Họ tìm thấy niềm hy vọng nhỏ bé đứa con trong bụng Tử Na. Tin ấy khiến mẹ Alex xúc động, mong đám cưới được diễn ra sớm, nhưng tình yêu của họ không còn phô trương, chỉ còn sự bình yên, lòng tin khi người phụ nữ khác tìm cách chia rẽ. Tử Na chọn im lặng, dùng sự chân tình để đáp lại. Đám cưới diễn ra đơn giản bên ruộng bụi, giữa ánh sáng nắng sau bão và hơi thở bình minh. Họ hiểu rằng tình yêu thực sự không còn lời hứa, chỉ cần cùng nhau vượt qua giông bão.